What's up, Lucky Gamers? So I want to start kind of a new thing where I talk about the different teams that you have in Reverse 1999 and how you can build them now as of 1.0, as we are going into 1.1, but how the teams look now and then how they'll grow in the future with future banners. So the first team that we're going to talk about today is the Poison team, because I am making a budget Poison team right now, and then we're going to talk about different ways that you can make it and what the Poison team will look like in the future. Because I know there's a lot of resources out there right now, but I kind of want to just talk it through to just make it easier for a lot of people, because people have just like a lot of questions. I want to get those answered, and I'll do different teams like the Poison team, Crit team. You have like Petrification team. You have different mental damage teams, reality teams, and we'll like do different themes around these teams, and eventually try them out. But I just kind of wanted to just lay it out for you guys a lot easier through, a video or just hearing it being talked about. But anyways, I've been rambling. Let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, so let's talk about the Poison team and where it gets kind of updated and how you can save or search for different units, right? And guys, this is a discussion, so if you have any comments in the comment section, please feel free to, just let me know what you think about it. If I'm wrong somewhere, just feel free. But all right, so let's start the Poison team in where we had launch 1.0, right? Poison team consisted of two characters that could do poison, rabies, and Sotheby. Regardless of how you feel on them on the tier list, they are able to complete content in Surface and Limbo, as they are in a Poison team. Rabies being invested into, and Sotheby. The third option that you would put would be Cure and Bloom if you wanted to give the best amount of damage. I know I use the Fool in my team, but the best DPS option is going to be Rabies, Cure and Bloom, and Sotheby, which does set you up for the future to get the complete like best in slot like Poison team setup, right? Now, this is where if you go the Rabies, Cure and Bloom, and Sotheby, you set yourself up for the first option of Poison teams, because there is a second option, which I'll go over. But setting this up allows you to easily swap out your units by having Sotheby. Sotheby just gives you a lot more versatility, because your support can really be pretty much anybody, because Sotheby provides the poisons for Changeling. So if you don't have a Cure and Bloom, you can do a Sinetto, you can do an Anan Lee. You can do any character that's going to be a support for you, right? So let's keep moving. So 1.1 comes up. Where's the Poison team going, right? Poison team doesn't really move unless you want it to. And I'm speaking on Pickles. Pickles can be your support if you want him to. But he doesn't have to be, because Cure and Bloom is already there. Right? So for some reason, if you don't like Cure and Bloom, you don't want to use Cure and Bloom, and you don't want to use like, any of the other supports like Anan Lee or Sinetto, and you're like, I really want to use Pickles on my Poison team, you can do it because he gets the extra damage dealt, but like it's not, necessarily necessary, right? So do you know that it's not something I would advise? Like if you're going for this for a Poison team, Pickles is going to be great for other teams, right? That we talk about. So just know that. But 1.1, we're still rocking Rabies with Sotheby. And you're using whatever support you have. Again, Cure and Bloom, Sinetto, Anan Lee, whoever you want to use, right? All right, so now comes 1.2. This is where things change. This is where you start seeing that second team, right? So 1.2 brings two pretty crazy meta-shifting units. Tooth Fairy and Changeling, right? Changeling is the poison DPS. She gets scaling with it. She puts out poisons. She just does a lot of, extra damage with poison stacks. So she is the poison queen, poison DPS, right? So she is going to replace your Rabies, right? So do you know that? When it comes to that team, right, it's going to be Changeling, Cure and Bloom, or whatever support you have, and Sotheby. Perfect pairing. Sotheby could heal. She does poison, makes it easy for Changeling, and that's the team, right? When it comes to the second team I talked about, right? Still going to involve Changeling. But the healer that you're going to have, if you chose not to go with Sotheby, is going to be Tooth Fairy. Now, let me talk about this, because a lot of people have asked me, can Tooth Fairy be on the poison team? Does she work? Tooth Fairy goes on a lot of teams. First off, she just goes on a lot of teams, and she enables units to crit that probably don't have as much crit, and to where you can build into that. And she's just a very helpful healer, right? The Changeling Tooth Fairy poison team, the problem is that you need a support character now that can give you poisons if you don't have a couple portraits on your Changeling. It just makes it easier, right, to have another poison character. And it doesn't make sense to do like a Changeling, Rabies, and Tooth Fairy, right? Because there's no other poison character yet that can really go with this team. So if you end up going for Changeling in 1.2, I'm assuming you aren't really like a free-to-play player, because the honestly cheapest option to go was with Sotheby with your rerolls, and then all you're pulling for is Changeling. That was the literally best option you could have went in terms of saving your gems, because you didn't have to roll. You didn't have to really do any pulls on Sotheby if you did your rerolls, right? And I've been preaching that. It's the kind of safest option to go for a poison team is to get Sotheby, and then you use any support that you have. If you got Picure Bloom, lucky you, and then you just save for Changeling. And then you would still have enough probably for Tooth Fairy as well, for your second team, right? If you ended up not going for Sotheby and you went for Tooth Fairy, I'm assuming that you went for a different character. I'm assuming you probably rolled for Centurion, or you rolled for like a different DPS character, right? And your focus wasn't really on a poison team at all. You were probably wanting to go crit, and then now you're like, oh, I guess I could go poison, right? So like poison was kind of a secondary option to you, and it depends on your spending, how you're going with this. But that's getting two characters that are back to back, Changeling and Tooth Fairy, right? So that's why that second team is just a little weird, especially for free-to-play players or light spenders, because like you could have just made it easier for yourself by going for Sotheby, right? So there's that. Oh, and those of you who are asking about like what about a fourth member, in 1.1 with Melania's banner, Druvis is a very nice option for the plant team as a fourth member. Yes, I know a lot of you are rolling your eyes and you're like, Lucky, you're so dumb. Why would you ever pair Druvis with reality damage team? It's her ability to give the plant heal, right? It's going to be just really nice for a team like that. You can do Druvis. Not saying to pull on her, but she does have a banner. But if you don't want to do Druvis, you want to use another character, that's where you can use any like support, Anan Lee, Sonetto, anybody that you have that can support reality damage would be another option. Because like if you have Picure and Bloom, I don't really think you would like necessarily like need a whole lot, to whereas like Druvis offers like some sustain. You know, if you want some sustain, you have Druvis. If you want more damage, then you go into a DPS buffer. But I digress. So we're in 1.2. I just told you, now we have set up for two teams. We have Changeling, Tooth Fairy, or now you have a complete team for Changeling, Picure and Bloom, and Sotheby, or you know, whatever support you have. So if you went the Sotheby route, your team is complete in 1.2, right? You don't have to wait. If you're going the Tooth Fairy Changeling route, you gotta wait to 1.3. 1.3 is going to bring 3 new characters: Shemaine, Black Dwarf, and Conjura. Conjura is a poison support character that you'll be able to use. So for those of you who went for the Tooth Fairy route, all right, now you're able to do Changeling, Conjura, and Tooth Fairy. So with that, now you have a complete team, which I hope that you already have your second team kind of made, because you you have your Tooth Fairy dedicated to a poison team, which like I just don't advise because like you need 2 teams for surface and artificial. I know a lot of you like have been asking like, do I really have to do that? Do I really have to do this? Like, well, if you just want the gem economy, it's just good to do, right? If you want the gem economy, if you want the shards and the just free resources from it, it's really good to do. Even if you can't like max star, limbo, and artificial, you want to do it. So you do want to have 2 teams. If you don't want to do any of that, if it doesn't matter to you, then just focus on one team and just play the game, right? You can always just do that because it's the only content in the game so far that requires 2 teams. So in 1.3, the second team option is complete. Shemaine isn't really an option for poison. If you just have a high portrait changeling who can apply a good amount of poisons herself, you can go Shemaine, right? If you just want to wail out and then have Tooth Fairy support Shemaine to where Shemaine can just crit more and do burst while he's a universal debuffer. You could absolutely do that, right? Like, once you start hitting whale territory, like once you get whale territory and you have a changeling that's like kind of insane, you can do whatever you want for your support. But if you're like a more reasonable, like average player, then your team is complete. You have your Conjura, right? Now, when it comes to 1.4, how does the teams change? This is where you can kind of, this is where we get, so far as we know, no new 5 stars, but 1.4 brings 37 and 6. You guys have seen me talk about 37 a lot, and you've heard me talk about 6. 6 is probably going to be the 4th option, I'd say, on a team. Possible 4th option because the way his kit works, he does extra damage to enemies that are debuffed, and he builds up his inspiration, which, the poisons and having the Cure and Bloom and everybody like that. He would really like a team with poison. And he does extra damage on a single target ult with that. And he also can buff a unit and give them, I don't think they have a kit here. They give them the buff to where they can upgrade their cards. Literally forgot what it's called. But anyways, he can give out a buff to units. I think Anan Lee has the same buff. Empower Incantation. There we go. He gives Empower Incantation to a single unit. And so you can use him to buff your Changeling, give Empower Incantation. He also gives a buff to everybody. And when you Insight 3 him, he starts the turn by giving out a buff. So he'd be a really good option for a support that can also do some DPS, kind of like how Shemaine is, as like a 4th option. Using him as the support in the middle option, maybe, but again, that depends on how crazy you went on your Changeling, right? So that's pretty much where the poison team is. And what I want to do with these videos as updates come out in CN, I really want to just be like, oh, hey, how has the teams updated? Or like in global, did things change that were in CN for my testing and different things like that, right? But I just want to get the video out there, right? That we have a reference, and then we just as time goes on, we just update this, right? So this is the poison team. I think I kind of covered things so far. Oh, Mr. Jiggers is also an option for a team. He's a universal debuffer as well. That you can use if you want the Changeling so the route. Mr. Jiggers is something. Of course, Picure and Bloom is still going to be better, but Mr. Jiggers is an option as well. If I missed a character, let me know in the comment section. Or if you have a different thought, let me know. But I think I kind of covered a general basis of the poison team and how it's going to look. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. And if you want more of this kind of content where I kind of go through a team and how it changes through the updates and what like characters really affect that majorly, let me know. Because I like being able to just talk to you guys, and I like kind of like this theory crafting or theory building a team, right, with you guys. So just let me know if you guys like this type of content. But anyways, sub up to the channel, dropping tons of content. We go live, so make sure you click the bell. I go live on YouTube and on Twitch at Lucky Lex Gaming. And so I just hope you guys are loving this content. I'm loving all the support you guys give me. It's been really nice. It's been encouraging me to do more and more for the community. But anyways, I'm going to go and get out of here. You lucky gamers, have a good one. Lucky Lex out.